With so much focus on keeping ourselves and our loved ones safe and healthy, it's easy to forget that most of us are going to experience things like allergies, colds, possibly even the flu. So, reminding you, proper hydration is crucial for all of these things. Remember, even slight dehydration can make you feel like you're getting sick, and none of us need that anxiety right now, that's for sure. That's where Hydrolyte comes in. Longtime fans will remember my obsession with Hydrolyte, which is simply the best oral rehydration product I've tried. I'm even more excited to introduce their brand new single-serve powder sticks. Simply pour one powder stick into a glass of water. They recommend 7 ounces. The powder dissolves almost instantly, creating the perfect balance of sodium, glucose, and water. Delivers up to 4 times the electrolytes of your typical sports drink. The other great news about Hydrolyte's new powder sticks, they're 100% all natural. No artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners. They're available in flavors like orange and lemonade, and they taste great. Hydration is crucial, and Hydrolyte is fastest and easiest way to stay ahead of it. Get your supply of Hydrolyte powder sticks now at hydrolyte.com/DRDREW. Again, that's HYDRALYTE.com/DRDREW, and then use that code Dr. Drew 25 at checkout. According to SAMHSA's National Survey on Drug Use and Health, approximately 20.3 million people above the age 12 suffer from substance use disorder. Incredible. The disease of addiction takes an average of 130 Americans every day. Sadly, the opioid crisis, which many consider the worst pandemic of our time, has been even further perpetuated by the spread of COVID-19. Since the start of the coronavirus outbreak, drug overdoses have increased by 18%. Factors like economic stress and social isolation have led to increased depression and unnecessary deaths. A Better Life Recovery is a premier addiction treatment center in Southern California, offering one of the most highly regarded and comprehensive addiction treatment programs in the United States. Dedicated to helping its clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation, they offer a 45 to 90-day program custom tailored to meet the needs of each individual client. Long-term is the way to go. Many of A Better Life's clients elect to stay up to 9 months to receive additional support. A Better Life Recovery will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to ensure the success of every client. Are you ready for a better life? Go to abetterliferecovery.com or call 866-581-4401 now. The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people take their own life. That's one death every 40 seconds. Experts predicted numbers would peak in 2020, but no one could have imagined the devastation brought on by COVID-19. During the coronavirus pandemic, you may experience anxiety, sadness, and loneliness. Existing mental health conditions, including severe anxiety and major depression, may worsen. If you're feeling hopeless, contemplating self-harm, or you're concerned about someone else, I'm here to tell you there is hope. A Mission for Michael is dedicated to helping clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation. Mission for Michael is the premier resource for intensive mental health treatment in Southern California. With an astonishing 2-to-1 client-to-staff ratio, each client in their facility receives individual care 24 hours a day, overseen by a team of all doctorate or master's level clinicians. With a focus on evidence-based treatment, along with personalized and compassionate care, they offer mental health treatment that can change lives. If you're suffering from mental illness or you're concerned about a loved one, go to amfmtreatment.com. Again, that's a Mission for Michael, amfmtreatment.com, or call 866-581-4401. Again, that is 866-581-4401.
Hey, everyone. It's a dose of Dr. Drew.
Wow, it was an ominous intro, but
and
yes, it is.
Look at those sponsors.
Oh, look at that. Look how you've absolutely...
decorated you.
Thank you for decorating me.
We want to thank all these sponsors. We appreciate them so much. And we have something new coming towards you called Locals. And we'll talk about that after.
Let me say something.
But mention the sponsors, like what you love about them.
I am very, very bad at promotion, and Susan works very, very hard to make this show run and to create some flow so we can afford it and afford our engineers and all the equipment she sets up. And so applause to Susan Pinsky for making this all work. Apologies that I'm not more of a promotional person, but we do make very, very sure that everything that is promoted, that we can stand behind.
And we have a great team of people that work with us behind the scenes. We have Valerie Allen, who helps us. So we have Ken Herskowitz. He's also working our marketing department, and we have a lot of really fun things coming.
And then
this fall.
Caleb is there running everything.
But I mean, as far as bringing us sponsors and finding us the right fit, and promoting, Hydrolyte's been a really great sponsor over the years. We have a new ad coming because they have a new.
And somebody asked about zinc, and there's zinc in their new products. So you
yeah,
can get your zinc through their new
and
products.
then the AMFN, A Mission for Michael. They're a great organization
So
in
I've
Orange
spoke
County.
to their clinicians. They're really quite good. And
then-
it's said they're set up the way. Listen, everybody, you've heard me complain about need for residential care, long-term care. They do it. They do it. So they do a great job with it too.
And then, of course, A Better Life Recovery, which is it's for men, right? That's a men's organization.
Program.
So
Now, wait a minute. They're asking about the CBD here. How's the CBD going? Did you talk about this or something? Susan is a new CBD.
you did. You talked
I
about
talked
it
about
yesterday, remember?
Okay, Susan's a new CBD.
Well, we have a new. Yeah, I think we have a new sponsor that's CBD too.
Yes. So
I mean,
coming,
I'm
but
getting a
Susan-
bunch of cool stuff in the mail.
Susan has been sponsoring in the meantime, and it has helped her de Quervain's thumb, and it made
That
her.
sounds so old.
It
De
made her the
Quervain's
most. She's not still chatty TC on the present doses, but on the dose she took like twice the recommended
The
dose.
first day.
And it made her the chattiest box of all time. There's really never been a human that was able to do that without breathing for as long as she did it, to the point that her throat was sore.
Well, I snored. I've really slept deep. I guess I snored. And
Tom Cigar says she totally took THC. She wasn't. It wasn't
No,
like that
CBD.
at all. It really was. She did not look stoned to me at all.
I wasn't.
And I talked to Ken Herskowitz, our marketing guy, and he said, they have other things. You got to let me look at the product because there's other things in there that might have been making you some herbs and stuff. That might
No,
have
what
been
I
giving you-
did is I didn't read the directions, and it said to take 16 milligrams, and then I took like 60 milligrams because I took
Good
two
boy.
things at the same time to see how it would feel.
So
Because I don't take this kind of thing, but I'm very sensitive too. So,
Yeah.
But what I did today,
I'm going
I
to try it
took,
for sleep too. by the
I
way.
took a half of one today, so I'm a little bit more. I'm not so chatty, although
Okay.
I will be interrupting you on a regular basis.
Yes, no doubt. So Sarah Moore, the Ivor Cummings hypothesis is really interesting. I tweeted it. It's just an interesting hypothesis. I don't know how much I can put on that, but the idea being is that the virus behaves differently in northern climates than southern climates, and you can superimpose the graphs of all the outbreaks in the different regions. Very interesting theory. We'll see if it plays out. So my worlds are colliding here right now, and I want to address some of them. B World just said he sent to your mom's house a poster design for our Rational Revolution. So I do another podcast on
Did
your
you
mom's
get it?
house. No, it'll go through Christina and those guys. But Christina P., Tom Segura's wife, is my partner in that. And it's a very interesting, funny podcast. She is extremely bright, a philosophy student from Cambridge, and a comedian. And we have a nice time, but we have both decided that we are tired of irrationality. We want a rational recovery. And we have some, and Susan, Rational Revolution, I'm sorry. And Susan, I'm going to send you a picture. I'm going to see if I can get you to put it up.
Email it to me.
I'm going to text it to you if I
eating
can
my lunch.
find it. This is going to take a minute, unfortunately. Let me see if this is it.
Why didn't you do it before?
Because I didn't think of everybody from your mom's house showing up here today. And there's a bunch of fans of your mom's house that are on the
That's
thread.
our YouTube channel.
So I will tell you, they're
Cozy
talking
Group.
about Two Bears, One Cave has a live episode tonight. And I'm concerned those guys are going to hurt themselves as well. So I will be monitoring it. So thank you for bringing that up. And then not only do we have a bunch of your mom's house guys here today, I noticed there was a lot of Hi Guy references, which is a Corolla reference, which is another world I live in. Hang on, I'll explain. That requires a little more focus to explain.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you do because you don't listen to that podcast. So
I
just saying, it's
did,
all right.
but sometimes I just don't have time to listen
No,
to
I
the
know.
podcast.
I get it. Oh,
I mean,
man.
I tune in occasionally when I'm.
Maybe I have it in my photos. I
It's
bet
been
I
a
do
busy
here.
month.
Sorry, you guys. Bear with me here. I want to get this Rational Revolution underway because the imagery we have for it is really quite astonishing. It's all been created by the Your Mom's House world. Oh, there it is.
Don't
I
forget
have
to
it.
watch Dr. Drew After Dark.
So, Susan, here comes the
Sorry
image.
about the music.
And you see if you can put that up on the screen alongside of me somewhere. So Hi Guy is an ad from the 70s where a comedic actor, a
Get the
guy,
dogs
it's a Right Guard commercial or something. A guy opens his medicine cabinet, and there's a guy on the other side of his medicine cabinet. Like, there are apartments where they share. Ha ha ha! It's so funny. This was the high level of humor in the 70s, and the guy opens his medicine cabinet, and there's a bald guy standing to this other side, just goes, "Hi, guy." And so a greeting at Corolla now has become, "Hi, guy." So that's where that came from. Let's see if I missed anything else. Oh, and we have somebody coming in on Twitch from Edinburgh, Scotland. Hello there from Scotland.
Woo, finally, some international.
We have visited.
I know we have other international people.
You are, we have visited your fine town and loved it, frankly. It's beautiful up there.
We're supposed to have a big YouTube international following through these people we're working with, and I haven't seen it yet, and I'm complaining about it today because I'm getting tired of waiting. But I do love my YouTube people from America, and stick with it. We love you.
And we are trying to broaden out the people we're talking to. It'd be interesting to talk to people from India and Scotland, wherever. Anthony Brown, I see you. Thank you for. I think you're talking about me and Corolla. You guys are the coolest dynamic since Batman and Robin. That's me and.
Sorry
Adam.
about the dogs barking at it. It's my gardener, I think.
Big study from World Health Organization: remdesivir showed little or no effect. Andrew, that does not surprise me. Although remdesivir is used rather routinely, most of the people I talk to are not super enthusiastic about it. Now, some of that may be the timing in which they use it. As you know, these studies are being done in mild, moderate, advanced, end-stage disease. So I have not read that data yet. The World Health Organization also came out very strongly against lockdowns, very strongly. I almost want to play that video where the guy, did I send you that, Susan?
What video?
Where the British guy he sounds like Len from Dancing with the Stars, and he talks about.
Can you play it? I don't think we can play something.
Right. You probably can't. But they came out very.
I guess we can play like
against
20
it.
seconds of it. That's it.
Yeah, and that's not
without getting.
Okay. Oh, Okiku's Eye is in England. Good for you. Pleasure to see you this evening. For you, evening. For us, midday. It's midnight over there. Liverpool is in lockdown, Barry says. Yeah, I'm a little confused by the aggression of the lockdown in England and France, although I don't think it's the same lockdown we're used to here in California. As I talked about yesterday, I made a comparison between what California is doing and work camps or concentration camps or gulags or whatever you want to call it. I, as somebody whose families had to deal with those things, know what I'm talking about. So I beg your pardon if you feel as though somehow it offends you that I bring up my heritage. Sorry about that. But be that as it may, I understand the potential for government excesses and where it goes.
You're an old man with your own vocabulary from your parents, right? Because that's what we called it.
I'm trying to follow you.
You're using words that you grew up with.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you for that. But point being...
Sorry about the old man part.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the part that stopped me in my tracks. Otherwise, I would have kept rolling.
You're a gorgeous old man.
Keep going. I
didn't get the email from you.
Joseph Giannotti has the video of Dr. Nabarro of the World Health Organization. That's the video I'm talking about. So he's going to put a link up.
Okay, put the link up and I'll...
Look for Joseph Giannotti's got it. He's the one that's got it up there. It's on the chat stream I'm looking at here. So in terms of being, where we are heading up in the United States. And it's weird when I look at it because I don't know what you guys think about this, but it's so regional that what's being reflected in the U.S. numbers is regional phenomena. Wisconsin, Indiana, not the kind of general increase. In fact, all the states are down, plateaued, or trending down. And I don't know, it's almost as though this is pure speculation, and it's probably reckless speculation, but it's almost as though the epidemic is sort of filling in areas where there was no surge before. It's like it fills in, and like think of the area under the curve, like the integral of the graphs of the outbreak. Did this picture just change all of a sudden?
Yeah, it did. I'm doing something else, right?
All right. Okay.
I don't. It's just you.
Yeah, New Jersey, New York going up, but Laverne, the uptick is so slight relative to where it was. Yeah, you need to pay attention. You need to track it. You need to bring it down. Thank you, Anthony, for laughing at the old man stuff. We appreciate your input as always. Anthony, I'm gonna have a project for you soon. I swear to God, you're in my thinking a lot. So stand by.
I don't see the link that the guy.
We don't see the link yet. He said, here's the link, and then there was no link. So maybe he's looking for it or something.
That's why I changed it to that camera.
I see. That was for Joe. Oh, Joseph Giannata does not have the link. He says, sorry, that was just the story.
Okay.
So, yes, it was Dr. Nabarro, Nabarro of the World Health Organization, WHO, who came out very, very strongly against lockdowns. And he said he was representing the WHO. So, there are outbreaks here and there. It's mostly young people and asymptomatic people, which is kind of interesting. The scary thing, when you really think about what's going on, the scary thing is the infectivity, right? It's so highly contagious. And then the fact that it's a crapshoot who has serious problems. And sharing with my peers, who it is that gets serious problems. It's obesity, it's metabolic syndrome, it's old. And so if you're not in those categories, even in Los Angeles, they publish data every day, LA County, and they always say the same thing, 92%, 94% of those people who died had underlying medical conditions. Now, so if you're old, if you have metabolic syndrome, if you have obesity, you have young with obesity, you got to watch out too. But you have to pay attention if you're in these risk categories. But everyone else, it's miserable, but it's less than H1N1 for the same age group population. H1N1 killed people 20 to 40 years of age. So it's kind of a conundrum in terms of how do we philosophically approach it. Do we lock everybody down? I don't think so. I think that's excessive. I think that was a okay thing to do when we didn't know what was going on. But now it's hard to understand why we would do that when we know so much better what we're doing. We understand it better. We know how to live with it better. We have therapeutics. We have a vaccine coming. Okikuzai says the UK is town by town and city by city in terms of the lockdown. But my understanding of Okikuzai, it's less of a lockdown and more of a curfew, which I kind of found interesting. I think I've heard parts of Paris have curfews. Like you're not locked down. You just don't go out after a certain hour, so you don't go to clubs, don't go to restaurants. Phil, what is metabolic syndrome? Great question. It's a certain genetic makeup. It's more men than women, I believe. We used to call it Syndrome X. Now we call it metabolic syndrome. It is the following things in a single individual: high cholesterol, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and central obesity. You tend to put your fat right across your middle. Associated with that can be hyperuricemia, high uric acid and gout. Also, antiphospholipid syndrome, which is kind of a complicated thing. But if you have 4 or 5 out of these 5, you're in trouble if you get COVID. I've just seen it cause terrible, terrible problems.
Robert Simpson said, "Stop downplaying it!" Exclamation! Exclamation! Exclamation!
Robert, what are we downplaying? Downplaying the outbreak? Downplaying the virus? Downplaying the seriousness? What are we downplaying? Get really specific.
We're talking about science. Just to ask, this is a twitchy guy. I can't see his name.
Lily, aren't most people in the U.S. in the risk group? No, they are not at all. Most people are asymptomatic carriers. Then the next biggest population are young people that have mild syndrome. Now, the obesity issue in this country does pose a special problem, doesn't it? Because we are so obese and it's so pervasive. I think that's what tilts us into really serious trouble. And again, people have to watch out if they are in those risk categories. Todd J., you say 90% of ICU beds are filled in Oklahoma. Check out that data. They were saying that here in Los Angeles for a while too. And guess what? Only 20% of those 90% were COVID cases. So you got to really look at the data that the press pushes out. You can't believe anything today. You have to really do your own research. Barry had mycoplasma pneumonia. That's no, that's not a risk factor for COVID. But if you are run down, and mycoplasma is a bad pneumonia, and if you don't want to get a bad illness on top of a bad illness. Okay, good for you, Anthony. I'm reading all the places you're going to speak. October 25th comes, and Dr. Galley's prediction of an 89% rise in hospitalization is not there. Can we use it as a moment to change our approach? Thank you, Sean. I asked that yesterday of one of the LA County Board of Supervisors. I said, we're down 20% instead of up 90%. Do you think they might change their thinking a little bit? This is the disaster that is California. How about you at least talk to Disneyland about opening up, and those 50,000 people whose jobs are affected can think about maybe crawling back to work. They don't seem to care. It's weird. They just don't seem to care.
There's a question you missed. Look at the screen. Can you see it?
Just to ask, would immune therapy, infliximab, and methotrexate put a 40-year-old at risk, do you think? You're in a special category, right? You must have rheumatoid arthritis, and I wouldn't want you to get it. I wouldn't want you to get it. You're not normal risk, but you're probably not high. You're not specifically high risk in terms of how the CDC categorizes it. Again, there's people that have real trouble from the COVID, and the people who are already sick for whom this COVID is hard to recover. So those are two different things, in a way.
So Robert Simpson, the one that said stop downplaying it, he thinks we need another lockdown. I don't know where he is. That would be interesting.
Yeah, where are you, Robert? It'd be good to know where you're thinking we need a lockdown.
Depends where you are. I mean,
and what do you mean by lockdown exactly? And why would the World Health Organization come out against lockdown when it shows that lockdown increases spread and doesn't do anything there? Yeah, so why do you want to do that? So just curious, or is there some science you want to point at that's contrary to the World Health Organization? I'm always open for that. What are my thoughts on the latest CDC data on masks? Okay, Steve. Look, if you're going to get COVID, let's say you get COVID, 85% of you are wearing masks. So wearing masks does not prevent COVID, right? Does not. That is a 85% of people who got COVID wore masks, some or all the time. Doesn't prevent COVID. It slows the distribution. It maybe makes it less likely that you, as someone who catches COVID and may be pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic, less likely for you to spread it. So it may decrease the number of people in the R naught, and it may decrease the rate at which it is spread, which is really what is issue. So to say that 85% of people who get COVID wore masks doesn't really tell us anything. It just tells us everybody's wearing masks. Now we know that most of the transmission occurs in the home where people don't wear masks anyway. So that doesn't mean that masks don't work. I'm still convinced that masks slow things. And look, if I'm walking around asymptomatic COVID, I'm delighted I'm wearing a mask, so I reduce the risk of transmission to other people. Just think about it that way. So that was a great example of how data can kind of skew things. People want to know when we're going to have Dr. Yo on again. Susan, do you have a plan for that? Maybe we're going away soon.
We'll get him back. He'll be back. He'll come on any day.
We can bring him on. He's been doing a lot.
I have to get the Zoom working.
Right. We're going to be at an out of town location.
We're going to get it working though. We're going to try it because we were able to get Kelly Victory on Zoom, and we're going to work on that tomorrow.
You know, there's a possibility they want you to Zoom me into Fox 11 too. Are you ready for that?
When?
Tuesday or Wednesday of not this coming week, but the following week.
I knew that was coming.
So what I guess, Gordon asked, 15% of Americans will ever hear that the World Health Organization came out against lockdown. It's not widely reported. That's interesting. I don't remember where. I think I saw it on Twitter or something. That's how I picked it up.
Here's something you missed.
Okay. State school superintendent suggested today that schools should consider being remote until well into 2021 due to surges. That depends where you are. And if they don't feel that they can safely open up, we know for sure kids get it and transmit it, but don't get sick. The probability of really getting sick is far, far, far less than 1%. The probability of getting sick or seriously sick from COVID if you're a child, much more likely to get killed driving to school, much more likely to get killed riding your bike or walking to school than dying of COVID if you get it. So the risk to children is nominal. The risk to the teachers is real because they've now proven that kids transmit it. And if you can't keep the teachers safe, I can understand why they would be concerned about it.
They're locking down in Czechia.
Now, whatever that means. Again.
Czech.
Yeah, whatever that.
Republican.
Yeah, I know Czech. Well, we decide Czech and
well, it's cold there. It's 51 degrees. Everybody's inside.
Czech Republic.
So
that's bad.
It's blooming.
That's what we're worried about in this country. So Czech Republic and Portugal had the biggest outbreaks in all of Europe.
That's where I wanted to go to
I know they have
this
the
summer.
biggest
That was
outbreaks.
my trip. We were going to go to Portugal and then Czech Republic.
I think the simulation is trying to tell us something, Susan.
I'm going though as soon as I get that vaccine.
The simulation is winking at you.
I have family there. I have to go see them. I don't want them, to die before I get there.
You think you wanted to go to Portugal and Czech Republic? We're going to make those the worst places on the planet for you.
Oh, that's because they're so popular.
Okay, Robert Simpson, South Carolina. Let me look at the South Carolina data. Let's look at that. So here we go. I'm looking at COVID tracking project, South Carolina. South Carolina. I was in South Carolina when this whole thing started, and they had nothing going on back then. Okay, South Carolina has, when you look at the full range, they had an outbreak in July that went up to about 2,000 cases today. The hospitalizations are way down since then. Death rate way down since then. So there is only a case-demic, Robert Simpson. At this point, you have a case-demic, not an epidemic. The epidemic, you have to have excess hospitalizations and deaths, technically. So I've learned from Kelly Victory. And when you look at the case rate, it's been percolating around about 1,000 since August. I mean, your average daily rate is around 1,500. So to be at 1,000, you were down at 800 for a few days, and now you had some weird spike days in September where you went up to 2,000. So I would say 1,000 cases in South Carolina is your baseline. That's sort of where you've plateaued. You can do better. But it has not had a significant effect. If you look at the data, Robert Simpson, if you look at the data on hospitalization and deaths, that's all down. That is all significantly down. And again, you want to say that 1,000 cases is a lag, the death and the hospitalization is a lagging indicator. You've been at 1,000 cases a day since August 20th, and the death rate has continued down since July 27th. It's been on a steady downslope. The hospitalization has taken a little tick up lately. It's gone from 650 to 700, and you want to see, but that's all the plateauing of those 1,000 cases a day. So probably your hospitalization rate is going to plateau around 600-700 cases a day. You can do better. You can do better. The question is, though, is doing better worth risking the trajectory of the cognitive development, the mental health of your entire state, the trajectory of development of the children, and the mental health? San Francisco yesterday had data that showed they had 4 times the overdose deaths per day relative to COVID deaths. 4 times overdose deaths versus COVID deaths. Which should we be paying attention to? I don't know. One is killing 4 times the number of people relative to the other. Should we just be focused on the COVID? This is the insanity of our public health policy right now. 4 times the death rate. I can't say that strongly enough. Do you hear me? In the city of San Francisco, and I'm assuming there's similar data elsewhere, I don't have that data, but as of yesterday, in the city of San Francisco, 4 times the number of people are dying of addiction than COVID. Do you think we ought to pay attention to the mental health stuff? What do you think? Maybe? It's crazy. So, yeah, Flora May,
like
but those are drug
all
addicts.
over again.
So nobody cares just because they're drug addicts? That's a sad statement. I'm sorry that people would think that way. Yes, GSR, that is. Thank you, Edgardo. Is the Mark Gill, is the survival rate getting better? What is the survival rate for 30 and 40-year-olds relatively healthy? 99.95%. I mean, it's 99.05%. 99.5%. You're going to do fine. Trump's situation is not unusual. And remember, all the people around him that had COVID, they either were asymptomatic, mild illness, they're all recovered. Even Chris Christie, which I found extraordinary.
How is he?
I'm going to bet
how he's doing?
I heard he's doing well. I'm going to bet that Chris Christie got the Regeneron stuff. I bet he got all that too, because he could have gone bad.
Luckily, he doesn't have to tell everybody what he does every second of the day.
I know. Luckily, it's true. I
liked him. He was fun.
Oh, I
met him.
I had some very good interactions with him.
A lot of energy.
Data from Chile: flu and other respiratory viruses disappeared
like
last southern winter with COVID being dominant. Maybe everyone going to have mild flu season this year. Your mouth to God's ears, Andrew Ashkazveli. Hopefully, we have everybody properly vaccinated. I got my Prevnar 13 vaccine today, so
what is that?
It's the final. You're a little young. You'll get it next year. It's
little young.
When you get pneumococcal pneumonia is the most common bacterial pneumonia over the age of 65. So you get a Pneumovax, 2 of them, and a Prevnar 13 that covers you for all the subtypes of pneumococcal pneumonia. So I've had the full spectrum Pneumovax and Prevnar, and I've had the flu vaccine this year, and I'm interested in getting the coronavirus vaccine as soon as it becomes available.
I have to get shingles.
Oh, that's not fun.
That's what I heard. That's why I put it off.
Ashley, are we still wearing masks outside, or do you ever stop because of the data? No, I wear it, Ashley. My greatest fear would be that I had COVID, didn't know it, and spread it. So one of the ways I can protect from having done that, or at least doing it in a more ubiquitous way, is wearing a mask. So that's my thing. I also had my COVID I've had COVID tests all the way along here, but I had my COVID antibodies tested today, which I thought was an interesting idea to really formally get those antibodies
You
tested.
see Joshua, I hope it's not true, but
What's
it
that?
could be.
What?
He has blood in his stool.
Very common in young persons, usually hemorrhoids. Older, you got to worry about polyps and tumors.
Yes.
Ted.
Get a colonoscopy if you're 50.
Ted wants to know if I would ever consider.
How old are you when you get a colonoscopy?
50. Unless you have a first-degree relative or Lynch
had-
syndrome, and then you might want to start earlier.
Yeah, if you have a parent who had colon cancer, get it sooner.
So Ted wants to know if I'd ever consider doing celebrity rehab again. I have approached VH1, won't hear of it for some reason, and they own it, so that's that.
Yeah.
But there may be some other things we could do. I'm working with Bob Forrest and some other ideas. Let's see. If we successfully vaccinate against COVID-19, does that mean we'll finally have a cure for the common cold eventually? A lot of the technologies that are being developed around COVID will impact the common cold. There's a couple of really interesting technologies of nasal sprays that prevent cold viruses from binding, from getting into your nose. And I think that kind of thing is what you're going to see more of. I think we're going to change how we deal with viral illnesses going forward. The whole cytokine story and the use of corticosteroids. That's a whole new kind of consideration in severe viral syndrome. I remember when I had H1N1, I kept calling my infectious disease consultant going, I am so sick. I'm so toxic. This is not normal. Something's wrong. And today, that will be treated with Decadron, I suspect, or some of the cytokine blocking agents that we use so commonly in the more advanced COVID cases. And it's going to change the conversation around septicemia, which is a very common cause of death in this country. People get bacterial infections and they develop a cardiovascular collapse called sepsis. And we've learned so much about the cytokine system and the treatment of the cytokine system. I think that's going to change how we treat sepsis going forward. I know you said that, but I've seen so many old people survive. I didn't say old people don't survive. 90% of the time they do survive, but they are the risk population as the higher risk for complications and death. Sam wants to know, will Tom Segura overdose tonight on cocaine? Are they doing cocaine tonight? I don't really want to see Bert Kreischer on cocaine.
You can't really overdose on cocaine.
Oh,
right?
you can have a heart attack. Very easy. You can have a stroke
well,
or
yeah,
a heart
but you
attack.
don't. It's not like an overdose.
Yeah, I mean, you don't overdose the way you overdose on heroin. You stop breathing and you die.
How much cocaine are they going to take? This is all pre-taped or is this live?
Live tonight, they are doing. So we watched.
On the PUD. It's not the TV show.
So Susan is getting very confused. So
I have to watch it. What
The
is
Cabin on Netflix is Bert Kreischer's Netflix show that we watched many episodes of last night and laughed our asses off. We recommend it. and tonight,
You like naked men on a fur rug
that if you can tonight
and butthole waxing. Sorry, I said that word.
Tonight you have Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer together on a live stream that you can.
Oh, that's the two bears in a cave.
Two bears in a cave.
Or on a cave or on a bear rug. Or...
Two bears, one cave.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be. Why doesn't Fauci speak out anymore? I think, Ashley, because the government has sort of put him in a back seat. They have their own sort of ideas about messaging. You see there's a little difference there. I don't know that they disagree on the facts, but it's clear that the messaging has shifted a bit. And for whatever. I'm glad I'm not part of all that. Okay, lick my fart. Is asymptomatic spread that prevalent? Yes. Fauci himself said that in the history of pandemics, asymptomatic spread was not the primary driver. Both true. Both true. Both can be true. And really what's probably more, they've shown that children can spread and they're all asymptomatic. So that's one source of asymptomatic spread. But we think that most of the spread in adults is pre-symptomatic spread. Like before somebody really aware they're sick, they're producing a lot of virus. So pre-symptomatic spread is different than asymptomatic spread. Doug, I don't know what you're asking there. Okiku's Eye, After Dark. Listen this. Everybody follow Okiku's Eye. Dr. After Dark, best podcast of the last 2 years, but Christina needs to try harder with her curations. The English cool guys,
are being neglected.
Okay. Okiku, that is a very specific and very doable guidance. So
be careful what you wish for.
We did get. I think if you look at, I believe the current After Dark right now, we had some English cool guys. In fact, I'm positive we did. And
Number
one of the
88?
reasons and one of the reasons we don't do
It's
that.
on YouTube tomorrow.
One of the reasons tomorrow's the one where we talk about
It's
English
up in
guys?
podcast form today, and then tomorrow it'll be on YouTube.
Okay, so one of the reasons we didn't do a lot of the English-speaking guys, they're impossible to understand. Once you get the cool guy teeth going and the British sort of working class, regional stuff, we become uncapable. We can't understand them. It's very difficult, but I will make that recommendation. I think it's a good one. Oh, here now. Okay, Joe has obliged us with the link. Susan, I don't know what you're going to do with it.
Okay, hold on a second. I got to take
This
pictures
is the
for
link
Leo Van. Oh, shit. What happened?
What?
Oh, never mind.
This is the link
on.
from Dr. David Nabarro, who is with the World Health Organization. Thank you, Joe Giannotti.
Somebody wants us to check in with Theo Vaughn, so I just took a picture of that. Okay. I got it.
Okay, great. And so take a look at it, Susan. If you just do the last 20 seconds, I bet we'll get what we need out of it.
Wait,
Andrew,
I can't take a look at it. It'll make noise. I'm going to screw up.
Okay. Andrew, you're saying that Dr. Atlas is going hard against the task force doctors. In what sense? What is he saying? They're an easy target, unfortunately, because they've taken strong positions and everyone's taken issue with some of the weeds of it. Tino, throat is always dry, plenty of water. Do you take a medication? Dryness of throat is a very common medication side effect. And also, you better take
found it.
Your blood check too.
It's about 126.
Yeah, you only have to play the. I don't want you.
Play though. You can see the words.
How long will laparoscopic gallbladder removal and hernia repair recovery last? How long should I take it easy? About 2 weeks, I'd say, Casey. It's really pretty fast. I'm surprised they're doing both of them at the same time. I was working out again like a week later after hernia repair. What are you asking about? Here we go.
I don't know if people can hear it.
Here it is.
Tell me if you can hear it out there. Okay, I have to turn it off.
That's all we need. That's all we need. That was the heat.
How did I hit that on the dime?
Beautiful. Well done. Oh, they couldn't hear it. They couldn't hear it.
Okay, couldn't hear, but you can see the words. Follow the link and you can hear it.
It's still
playing.
Well, they can't hear it anyway, so just yeah.
No, but anyways, you get the gist.
You can see the
subtitles.
Written subtitles there. Yes, we got you. We hear you.
It wasn't like his voice was that spectacular.
That's probably better for us in terms of getting censored by YouTube and stuff too.
Yeah, true. I just don't have the right thing turned on. My
all right, it's fine. Just go take the link that Joe gave us. Read the words that are up there that we just put up. He said it all.
One of these days I'll be good at this.
Well, you nailed the right spot.
We can read lips.
And Susan just put it up again, so you can click through.
Yeah, I click on it later after the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do it now.
Yeah.
Unless you can dual task.
Oh, they didn't see it either.
No, it should be coming.
You should have.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, no. Wendy King says she read it.
It's on the side. Yeah,
it was there. So
that's all right.
Oh,
just
Isabel saw it? Huh.
It basically.
I think she means our sound.
It just said basically lockdowns.
He said, "Do not use." Yeah, it makes poor people poor. Please don't belittle people that say don't use lockdown. Please don't use lockdown. No. You're gonna play it again?
They can't hear it.
Okay. Daniel,
it makes poor people a lot poorer. That's what he said.
That is for sure.
So that the bottom line is the consequence outweigh the
benefits. Exactly. Yeah. And they're not even sure there's any benefit. Do we think, Daniel, that COVID can weaken as a virus? Yeah, it can, but I'm not sure. I don't believe that's happening. I think it's maybe, if anything, maybe a little more infectious, and it's just infecting younger people, and younger people don't get into trouble with this. Okay, my only quibble is concern is poverty. I agree, but he missed delayed hospital visits. No, he did talk about that as well. So Gordon is bringing up the other issue in addition to poverty getting worse. Delayed hospital visit, child abuse, suicide, overdoses, divorces, other lockdown casualties. Yes, and yes. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that out. Susan, put his thing up. I want people to read it. Gordon Fishbottom. Okay, Andrew Ashkasvili wants me to see the interview with Laura Ingraham. I'm going to light it up. I want you to put it in bold print on the screen. There it is. Okay. That guy, that whole, just put his, whoa. Be careful. If you catch our attention, you might get blocked by accident.
Sorry, Gordon, almost got you.
Oh, interesting, Joseph. That's interesting. Shingles contagious from person to person. The first result said no. Second result said yes. Third result said yes, no, maybe. Tiger, stripes, yes, no, maybe. So know that there are outbreaks of shingles. There tend to be outbreaks.
Do they come from kids or they come from adults? Or
The adults that are immunosuppressed, you can see outbreaks. So it's
football games or
no. Like I had an outbreak in my office once. So thoughts on Prestique. I was on Prozac. Primary says that this will help me more with my anxiety. Prestique is a good medicine. It's a very close relative of Effexor. It's an enantiomer of Effexor. Andrew, did I hear you say blood in the stool for young people is common? No, I said what I said. You have to listen carefully. What I said for young people, when they have blood in the stool, it's commonly internal hemorrhoids. It's commonly hemorrhoids. So you don't have to panic about it, but your doctor needs to evaluate it and make sure. If you are over 35, over 40, don't blow it off. And you may want to get checked for Lynch syndrome, that kind of thing. Well, but the point is, don't make assumptions. Let the doctor do the proper work.
I think I had a little bit of that when I was pregnant.
Yes, for sure you did.
I had a cluster coming out of my butt.
Thank you for sharing. Everybody like that? Everybody cool with that?
Grapes.
Keep going.
You have triplets.
Susan, why don't we just come on the After Dark show? You can. That's more that show than this show. Why? I can't see your name. Why are you keeping vigilant about shingles? They had an outbreak of chickenpox. I
had chickenpox in my adulthood too. That was not fun.
Jay Mick said, I had shingles once. Oh my God, it's awful. Don't get it. Yeah, you only get it once typically. I mean, there is such a thing as a second case, but you typically only get it once. And even if you got it once, so you might want to consider taking the vaccine. Anthony, thanks for pointing that out. 30 dose of prednisone, 5-minute taper,
what did Anthony point out? My grapes.
Michael, generally with Crohn's, you want to be careful with COVID, right? That you're immunosuppressed from the prednisone. That's not a big deal. I have several patients who I was treating their pneumonia with prednisone, and they end up having had COVID as well, and they did better than average. They were in a high-risk category and did very, very well. So, yeah, Ricky, let's bring this up. Susan, you think that CBD is doing something to you? Is that what all the
making me happy.
The loose lips are about? COVID through breast milk. No, there was data yesterday that showed it is not transmitted to infants and not transmitted through breast milk. So thank you for bringing that up. Am I going to be on Fox LA tonight? Joseph, I will not. No. Tonight we are, the Thursday Night Football has...
Whoop, whoop.
Then most of the next 2 weeks we're going to be preempted by baseball
Back and
football.
Forth.
Yeah. So I will be away from my friend Alex for a while.
No, maybe we can zoom him into our show and you guys can say hello again.
Sure.
Once I get that working.
Lick my fart. I don't remember that interaction you're talking about. Current total death 2.45 million 2019.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'm not quite sure what you're pointing out.
I can't believe
there.
I mean, that sounds like something that Adam would say.
Thank you, Joshua. Jeremy.
No Thursday night football tonight, Dr. Drew.
Is there baseball tonight? Maybe
Probably
it's
baseball.
Dodger baseball. It's
local
Dodger,
Dodger, yeah.
You're right. It's Dodger because we are here in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are in the NLCS championships, and so it is. It's baseball. That's what bumped me. Yes, thank you, Augie. No football, but there is baseball. Okay.
I thought it was going to be Dodgers too.
Susan, I know you've got to kind of get going, so I'm going to kind of wrap things up.
How about, are you going to tell people about your new scam?
Yes, my scam. Is it a scam?
Drew has been very busy setting up a new thing called Locals for himself.
I was called by several Locals participants who were just enamored with it. They loved it. And
Greg Gutfeld?
Yep, they love being on it. They say it's great. It is just a way of getting away from all the craziness that we deal with on Twitter. It's a way of getting away from the toxicity, away from the...
That will probably still be there anyway. So.
Away from the censorship of social media and be able to have frank and open conversation without fear of retribution or God knows what.
Right.
God knows what.
Right. So it'd be great for this audience because we have a really good group of people. But What exactly is your goal, Drew, to do with the locals?
Well,
Because you can get stuff for free, but apparently if you join, then you can get this other stuff that we have to, set up for everybody.
What?
You can go on for free, or you can join, become a member, and follow your content.
Right.
So you're gonna.
My goal is to create community. Let's see what we can do as a community that's able to communicate and openly. I don't want too big an operation there. I want to be able to talk to people on a smaller scale basis instead of 3 million Twitter followers, that kind of thing. I want to be able to have sort of more personalized conversation, and I imagine a world where people build a community and support one another. I mean, I'm a big advocate of peer support, mutual aid societies, that kind of thing. And I want to see if we can create something like that where we create interesting exchange. So
and then we can also do what you guys want to do. I have this I want to do like a Zoom webinar type of thing. But here's the link. It's if you go to that link after the show, you can sign up, or you can do it for free and just cruise around and see if you like it or not. But
well, let us know if you don't become a member. Let us know what you're concerned with and what the issue.
We were going to do Patreon, but we didn't do that. This is sort of the thing we want to get involved.
You guys were encouraging me to do Patreon on the Twitter feed, on the chat feed here, and
Drew does Cameo like every day. We don't really promote it, but if anybody has had a Cameo, thank you. We want to develop our own safe place on the internet for you to get information. And, since you guys are sort of our regular cool guys, we'll cool people, I guess. I don't want to say guys, but we'll try to develop something that works for you guys as well.
Yeah, let us know. That's the whole point.
I guess you make comments.
You'll
or
help
you
me build
for
it.
things.
You will be. No, it's not an OnlyFans like my fart. Thank you. It will be a community, I hope. And if it doesn't work, we'll abandon ship.
They're going to help us, develop it and create some cool stuff. And then, Drew can just, wherever he is, sort of like an Instagram live, he can go on and talk about something, like if we're in New York and something comes up on the news and he just wants to go on it and just chat to you or whatever.
And I will try. Susan will help me
he can give you the most recent stuff. It's going to be his job to do that on his own too, but we will also, we're going to figure out some cool stuff that we can maybe put in that I don't know. We just joined, so I gotta figure that out.
We'll try to make it good. Kathy Bouchard Martin, God bless you. Thank you. Scott Adams is there, B World, and he's the one that was super enthusiastic about it. And then when I talk to the people that run it, they are very well trained professionals who know what they're doing and have a clear vision about these communities that support each other and avoiding the toxicity of social media and really creating your own space. And so I don't know. We'll see. It's they're very excited, and so am I. So we'll see. We will see. It's a work in progress, and we appreciate your patience and we appreciate your participation. So with that, we will be away tomorrow. We will not be here tomorrow. The weekend we'll probably be doing something across the weekend. Susan, correct? Is that safe to say? Probably.
Yeah,
Sunday-ish?
we'll check in this weekend.
Yeah.
I have to clean up the place
Okay.
But I'll bring the camera.
Okay.
Because they'll probably want you to do something anyways.
We'll be back full throttle on Monday. We will be away on Tuesday. Is that correct, Susan?
Tuesday we're flying.
Yes, we're going, and then we'll go back on a more normal schedule again after that. So
Wednesday we'll be back.
Yeah,
I think we'll do an Ask Dr. Drew on Wednesday. But I think it'll be just questions, so you guys can call in.
No guest.
I don't know. I haven't, since we're going to New York, we have to.
Let me just check the New York data before we go. Let's see what it's looking like here. Yeah, there's an uptick. There's an uptick from 1,000
One of our Twitch guys joined locals. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. 1,000 to 1,500 cases. Hospitalization from 400 to 800. It's like they need to get under control. And I actually support what Mayor de Blasio was doing, was locking down local areas and not shutting everything down the way California does. So hopefully that will plateau this. It looks like it's plateauing now. The hospitalization has to plateau yet. Thankfully, death rates have not gone up much. They've gone from literally 5 to 10. I mean, that's percentage-wise a lot, but the actual numbers are very low. And that's the entire state of New York. So they're doing generally quite well. So I look certainly better than most states. And they're opening up. Florida is wide open. Let's see what Florida looks like before I let you guys go. Florida's wide open, and Florida, come on, there we go. Florida is flat. No increase in Florida in spite of being open for business. So isn't that interesting? People were pointing at Florida and laughing. Oh, look at those idiots. Interesting. Huh. I wonder if they're so silly. Maybe they are onto something. And California is doing pretty well too, but they should be getting a little more liberal. Ventura County is finally going to open up. We'll see if LA County ever does. Florida has mask mandates depending on the city. That's interesting, but you can go inside and eat. It's all open there. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it, and I will try to drop in on the locals thing on these days that.
Yeah, we're gonna do some fun stuff over there. It'll be, maybe Drew will loosen up a little bit.
Well, you tell me what you want.
We'll try. We'll make it fun and interesting.
All right, and so
as soon as I figure out what the hell it is.
So we will see you across the weekend. We'll see you then. Have a good weekend. The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people take their own life. That's one death every 40 seconds. Experts predicted numbers would peak in 2020, but no one could have imagined the devastation brought on by COVID-19. During the coronavirus pandemic, you may experience anxiety, sadness, and loneliness. Existing mental health conditions, including severe anxiety and major depression, may worsen. If you're feeling hopeless, contemplating self-harm, or you're concerned about someone else, I'm here to tell you there is hope. A Mission for Michael is dedicated to helping clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation. Mission for Michael is the premier resource for intensive mental health treatment in Southern California. With an astonishing 2-to-1 client-to-staff ratio, each client in their facility receives individual care 24 hours a day, overseen by a team of all doctorate or master's level clinicians. With a focus on evidence-based treatment, along with personalized and compassionate care, they offer mental health treatment that can change lives. If you're suffering from mental illness or you're concerned about a loved one, go to amfmtreatment.com. Again, that's a Mission for Michael, amfmtreatment.com, or call 866-581-4401. Again, that is 866-581-4401.